cold water showers and baths and swimming doing you more damage than they are good. Now, depending on who you are, your body type, and what's going on in your life, it might be. I'm going to talk from my own experience for a little bit, how I got into cold water and the benefits around it, but also some of the effects, negative effects it's had on me, so that it might be able to help you. So my cold water swimming journey began in the North Sea in Aberdeen in Scotland. My sister was going into a charity event organised on Boxing Day. You may have some in your country called the Nippy Dipper, where about 200 people go into the North Sea on Boxing Day. It's the day after Christmas, and it is freezing, absolutely freezing. Not zero, but it's cold. 4 degrees possibly in the water temperature, and it was shocking. It was, I've never experienced cold like it. This was back in 2011, and I absolutely loved it. I loved the sense of everybody running in together, being there with my sister, doing a little bit for charity, and we made it into the newspapers and on a TV, which was fantastic. It was a great event, and as a family, we loved it, and we did it consistently for a few years after that. Actually, a lot of years after that. But that experience of hitting the water, literally activated my body. It took my breath away to begin with, because there's just the impact of the cold water in the body, and it goes into shock response. In fact, being the North Sea, it goes into survival mode. Literally, in 4 degree temperatures, plus the outdoor wind, and just it was freezing. The body, basically, the blood starts to leave the limbs, the arms, the legs, and it goes up into this area. And this is the reason being is so it protects the vital organs. We've got our heart, our lungs, the diaphragm, etc. And all these areas are there to protect us. In a sense, we can afford to lose an arm, afford to lose a leg, but it's just the body's way of going into survival mode, and it's invigorating. You know, it wakes you up, it switches on the nervous system, it moves it into that sympathetic state. Way up. You get the breaths, the panic breaths, you know, which literally the cold water takes your breath away. So from that first instance, I just loved it. The feeling of togetherness with other people and doing something in the community. Loved it, and we did it a number of years after, as I just explained. I also got into further down the line into doing cold showers, a bit of cold water therapy. This has been made popular in recent years. This is something I got into way back through introducing my friend who introduced me to it. Now, I did 90 cold showers in 90 days. It was probably actually more because I was going to the gym and working out as well. So I was sometimes doing 2 a day. Now, to begin with, even though I'd done the North Sea dips, going into that shower was an awful, awful experience. Because I've got this cold water coming onto my body. I'm not even submerged in it. Submerged seemed to be easier. But getting splashed in cold water, and it was like I would stand back, and you can see how the breath, and it took a long time. It took time. It took effort to actually get in and just accept what was going on. There's a kind of spiritual element to it as well. You know, I had to go in and understand. So understanding the acceptance of this is cold, but the understanding of that my body's gonna go into this kind of rigid movement. As soon as I go in, I'm tensing up. So as soon as I breathe in, the diaphragm moves down, my body tightens. So understanding that, I was able to slightly, change my physiology. So go in, and allow my body to go through that natural, although somewhat unnatural process of relaxing into it, surrendering into it. And I would turn my body and it would get cold on other bits and it was something to start again. And it was, but over time I went from like 10 seconds to eventually 10 minutes. I was able to regulate my breathing a lot easier and my nervous system. The thing was, this is so long ago uh, that at that point I wasn't even a functional therapeutic breathwork practitioner, and I had very little understanding out with knowing what was happening within my own body. At the time as well, I was going through a pretty difficult time in my life, and what I didn't know was that my nervous system was already, it was being stuck on in the sympathetic nervous system, which you may or may not know as flight, fight, and freeze. Yeah, so I was literally pushing it to its limits. And what happened over time, because it was getting stuck on, and I was getting very little rest and relaxation, or the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the opposite, the rest, digest, and repair, that my body was trying to adjust to this new environment that I was bringing it to, this extreme environment that I was bringing it to, but it wasn't getting the opposite. There was a huge imbalance. And what began to happen is the body just does what it's meant to do in each environment. You know, the mind, my mind just telling me I'm going to go have a cold shower, I'm using it for some kind of emotional regulation. But at the same time, my body didn't understand the mental cues I was giving it. All it does is change its environment. So in that shower, a cold shower, sometimes twice a day, body's switched on all the time. It's activated, so it's not getting rest properly. So I'm not sleeping properly. I'm getting sleep. I'm getting 6, 7, 8 hours sleep, but it wasn't in a deep relaxation sense because I was so activated and switched on. So rest, not good. Digest. Now, whether that's emotions at the end of the day, uh, nutrients get digested, and food. So now my body, as explained in another video about the diaphragm, check it out. You know, it's like a pump, and it massages this area, and it works at its best for digestion in the parasympathetic state. But I'm switched on. I'm in the sympathetic, so it's fight, flight, freeze. I'm chasing, in the wildebeest, as I like to say. Like how we're seemingly made. A hunter gatherer. So I'm switched on. I'm activated. Oh, 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 to try and either run away from the wildebeest or catch the wildebeest and then eat the wildebeest. But I want to eat it in a rest, digest, repair state, not activated and switched on. So it was affecting my inside slowly, and I began to get some symptoms. I was getting some lower back pain, some bloating, and skin conditions. It started to get itchy in different places. Now, I had no idea that this was related to essentially dysfunctional breathing and an overstimulated nervous system. And I looked for all kinds of solutions as to what might be going on. And in fact, some of the things that I tried, like cold showers, ice baths, and what else did I try? There was so many different things. Anyway, I can't think at the moment, but I'll just keep talking. The things that I was trying were actually doing more harm than good. The skin condition exacerbated, the bloating increased, and I was finding it uncomfortable to sleep. I went to Chinese herbalists. I got acupuncture. I got cupping. Um, I went to see a nutritionist, tried elimination diets. I got poo samples taken. I went to see a doctor, and I got I've had CT scans. Um, anyway, loads of things. I had no idea that it was related to dysfunctional breathing and an overstimulated nervous system. So I continued on my journey, and eventually I discovered, that that was the root of my problems. But I discovered it by mistake. I've been practicing breath work, meditation for well over a decade, but I looked at the functional and therapeutic side of it. And I just did that out of curiosity to learn more about the skills that I already had. Now, my tutor who taught me, a wonderful man called Campbell Will, from Breath Body Therapy, he actually gave me some exercises to do. And through doing those exercises, within a few weeks, my skin condition almost completely vanished. It was unbelievable. Now, I had tried creams and there was medication I got for a bit, and there was vitamins that I took and supplements to try and help. I really, really tried to set things straight. But within 4 weeks, a few weeks, it cleared up, and it was just incredible. It really ignited my passion for the work that I'm now doing. That I've got that lived and professional experience, so that I can support other people.